Nancy Pelosi there, she actually pointedly clapped her hands in President Trump's face. Is this the beginning of unity?
Look, I think at the beginning his speech started off in the right tone and was going in the right direction. But then the meat of the speech went in the wrong direction, and I think it was extremely divisive, and I don't think it was a speech that is looking to unify folks. And I think he missed an opportunity to actually talk to everyday Americans and let people know exactly what he was going to do to make sure that we are unified and that we are together and we're going to move together forward.
I don't know, Raul. I mean, the new CBS poll that was done right after the speech said that 76% of Americans actually approved, and 80% of those that were independents actually said they approved of the president. Maybe this is the one night we get a little bit of bipartisanship, Genevieve, but let's talk about the issue again of immigration. It was an hour and 22 address. 15 minutes of that, he talked about immigration. Listen to what he said about the working class in the middle of this.
No issue better illustrates the divide between America's working class and America's political class than illegal immigration. Wealthy politicians and donors push for open borders while living their lives behind walls and gates and guards.
Genevieve, did he move the needle?
Well, I think that he did, and I'll tell you why. I think the poll numbers you mentioned, and it wasn't just CBS. I saw a CNN instant poll afterward finding that over 60% of folks thought it was a good speech as well. But look, I mean, the president was right to point out that when it comes to immigration, many of the people in that room are folks who do have security around their homes, but there are a lot of middle-class Americans and working-class Americans that can't afford that, and they deserve, the whole country deserves, a secure border. And I think, look, he pointed out, this is a divided House. We had an election. Democrats now control the House. Nancy Pelosi was sitting behind him. He talked about compromise. He didn't just talk about a wall. He did reference that. He talked about the importance of that factor. But he also talked about increasing law enforcement. He talked about making sure that we had humanitarian aid. And he pointed out that all the things he was talking about were the very things that many people in that room, including many Democrats, have voted for just 2 years ago, and certainly over the time of their career.
And you brought up law enforcement. I mean, and it's funny because Nancy Pelosi knocked him afterwards, Raul, and said that he didn't talk about gun violence, but one of his guests was a police officer from Pittsburgh that was shot several times at that synagogue. So did the Democrats seem to kind of miss the mark here that the president was trying to reach across the aisle?
No, I think, and that's a very good point. I mean, because there were also people in there that were affected by gun shootings and mass shootings, like the kid from Parkland, and so I think it's a valid point to make that point, to say, hey, look, there was something that was missed and that wasn't talked about, and this is an important issue that people need to, that people care about, and I think we missed it.
We care about jobs. We care about the economy, Genevieve. He didn't talk about the fact that we're sitting on $22 trillion in debt. Do you think that that was a missed opportunity?
Well, look, no president, and not whether it's Republican or Democrat, likes to talk about the debt. And most State of the Union speeches are kind of laundry lists of new programs. I was glad to see last night the president didn't do that. There wasn't one program after another that we never talk about how we're going to pay for. However, he did not mention that we have a $22 trillion debt, and that breaks out to about $68,000 for every man, woman, and child in this country. We're going to have a fight coming up in not too distant future on the debt limit. The president needs to tell Congress, members of both parties, we're not going to increase the debt limit if you guys don't get serious, not budget gimmicks, but get serious about budget reforms that actually get spending under control.
Well, luckily, you know, he did mention 5.3 million new jobs created under his administration, and you do have tax cuts in effect right now that are helping many Americans. So much to unpack with this, guys. Thank you for getting up early. Raul, Genevieve, great to have you both here.
Thank you for having me, Cheryl.